Happy holidays, everybody. This is Dr. Bob from DistancePreps.com, and boy, do I have a special guest that I'm going to get a chance to talk to in just a little bit. It's Coach Dave Halliday, the cross-country and track and field coach at Flag La Palm Coast, and also Florida's track and field chairman for the Florida Athletic Coaches Association, otherwise known as FACA. And we're going to get a chance to talk about the FACA 2012 Track and Field Clinic that's going to be held up in Daytona Beach, January the 5th through the 7th. And man, has Dave done a great job putting together an outstanding, stellar cast of speakers for this clinic. He's also got a great supporting cast of coaches here in the state that will help him pull off this great event. And I highly recommend all coaches across the state, if you have a vested interest in track and field, distance events, multi-events, sprints, whatever your case may be, come on out and support this clinic. I think it's going to be the best one the state has ever seen, and it's promising to be a really, truly outstanding event. So let's go talk to Dave and we'll find out some more specifics. And once again, everybody, happy holidays and all the best in 2012.
Since 1960, we've been the super source for track and field equipment. We get what you need fast. Everything trackandfield.com.
So Dave, happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Bob.
We've got a big clinic coming up, the annual Track and Field Clinic. And why don't you tell us a little bit about it, where it's going to be and when it's going to happen?
Okay, it's coming up here just in a couple weeks, right after the first of the year. It will be at the place where it's been for the last few years, which is the Daytona Beach Hilton Oceanside. Nice big complex over there, and it will be from Thursday, January 5th through Saturday, January 7th. And it's open to anybody who is a FACA member for free. If you're not an FACA member, you can join. It's kind of different from other conventions and clinics. You're not really paying for the clinic per se, you're paying to be a member, and then any clinics that are offered through the FACA you get to go for free. So if you're a kind of a distance person, you can go to the cross country and the track one. If you're a football coach and a sprint coach, well then you can go to those. So it's kind of a nice benefit there, and you also get $1 million liability insurance coverage sometimes. God forbid that anybody should need that, but when you're coaching you just never know. So that's a little benefit there, and it's $70 at the door for that. A lot of people are already members through the school. You just need to ask your athletic director. You might be a member and not even know it. So that's where it'll be, the usual place, and we'll start at 1 o'clock on Thursday, and we'll go to noon on Saturday, and it will be jam-packed all the way through, and it should be probably one of our best ever.
I had a chance last year to be at the clinic right there in Daytona Beach, and man, I gained a wealth of information. I'm not even a coach. It's probably a pretty good idea if you're involved with track and field or cross country, or if you have an interest in just getting some more education to try and attend some of these clinics. And, the track and field clinic that you put on last year I thought was rather top-notch, but man, I think you've outdone yourself this year, Dave. Why don't you tell us about this one specifically, and what's a little bit different than probably years past?
Okay, this one is, and like you said, hey, this is a great way to meet people, a great way to network with coaches and to get involved with what's going on and get current on everything with the new rules, just not within the state but out of the state. And it's a real fun time, and anytime you can pick up more education anywhere, I think it's a great thing. So yeah, this one will be similar format to what we've done in the past. We'll start off with all the state champion coaches from last year, 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, boys and girls, and they'll talk. And then we've pretty much got a 3 different room session of speakers going on simultaneous every hour on the hour, Thursday through Saturday morning there, covering all different aspects of track and field, not just events, but health, nutrition, psychology, the whole 9 yards. So this one's going to be pretty nice. We kind of we're going with the Olympic theme here. We tried to get as many of the Olympic coaches as we could. A couple of them weren't able to make it due to various obligations, but we do have some of the guys this year. Edric Florial from Stanford, he's their head coach and the jumps coach for the 2012 team. Mike Holloway from University of Florida, the sprints and hurdles coach, will be here as well. Jack Hazen, the distance coach, all on the men's side. On the women's side, Gwen Wetland McKinsky will be here, and she'll be talking high jump especially and the jumps. But we've got just a huge number of great speakers. We got some good high school people, including Mark Napier, who was college coach all over the place, from Wisconsin to Oklahoma to northern Iowa, and he's a local product here from the state of Florida originally. He'll be talking on several things. We'll have Robert Geary from Ohio State talking about distance and middle distance, and we've got a real special treat, Brooks Johnson, probably one of the greatest all-time coaches in all different event areas in the United States. He's had an Olympic athlete in every Olympics since 1968 that he has personally coached. Of course, he now coaches David Oliver over in Orlando, and he was the 2010 Nike Coach of the Year. He'll be here speaking a couple sessions, and then David Oliver will be here kind of doing a meet and greet and signing autographs and pictures and doing some things like that. Also, another very nice treat is Rayno Ryder, former University of Florida coach, and he's been coaching collegiately for almost 18, 19 years, but the last 2 or 3 years he's been just coaching professionals. And he was the 2011 Nike Coach of the Year. Just this past year, honored at the USA Track and Field Convention in St. Louis. Of course, he coached Christian Taylor and Dwight Phillips to gold medals in Daegu. So he and his group of professionals actually just relocated within the last 4 or 5 weeks to Daytona Beach here, training out at Embry-Riddle. So that's going to be pretty special to have him, and a couple of his athletes may be over there doing some pictures and signing some autographs as well. And then we probably have one of the best high school throws instructors, Bill Godino, who's of course his son, John Godino, famously, one of the best shot putters there in the 90s and early 2000s. But he himself was and still is a high school coach, Wyoming, Colorado. He's now located in Desert Ridge, Arizona, and he's had numerous state champions on the high school level, shot, discus. He's also now branched into the seated wheelchair shot put with the Paralympics. He's big in that, so he's going to be talking about all those things. But he can bring, I think, what will be very enjoyable to the high school coaches is the high school perspective. He's been on a real high level, wrote curriculum for USA Track and Field for level 2 certification on throws, but is a high school guy. So I think that's going to be a real treat for people wanting to learn about throws. So we have a few other other high school folks coming in. We got Coach Pete Ormsby from Weber, who is he's actually has his doctorate in sports psychology, and he's going to talk about sports psychology and mental preparation. That'll be good. We got a couple little panels of high school coaches, some of the old time veteran coaches that have all won state titles, and kind of talking about how you get to that point. And then another special treat, I have all these treats, it's like Halloween, is a guy named Dr. Randy Wilbur. He's the senior exercise physiologist for the U.S. Olympic Committee out of Colorado Springs. And he is working very closely with USA Track and Field. And over this last year, he traveled with them to Daegu. He works exclusively with the track group, USA Swimming, and then USA Cycling. He's big into the endurance events and stuff like that. And he actually was the Titusville High School cross-country coach about 25 years ago in the 80s. And he knows a lot of the coaches from here. And so a lot of the veteran coaches may remember him, but he now does a lot of work on heat and humidity training, overtraining, training in altitude, this and that. So he's going to actually do a big talk on training in heat and humidity, what's proper what's the most up-to-date science on that for all event areas, not just distance running, but all event areas. And he's also going to talk on how to kind of prevent overtraining, to kind of know the signs and the causes and stuff like that, so that, sometimes we forget that these kids are 15, 16 years old and they're not 22-year-olds, and sometimes their bodies needs a little bit of a break. So we've got a huge lineup, and we've got Chanel Young coming and giving her official rules presentation, and that should be it beats going online and having to listen to the 30 or 45-minute online presentation with that. And then we have the Hall of Fame banquet, which will be Friday afternoon, which is going to be another doozy of some great people. The coaches of the year are going to be recognized, and they include Doc Crabtree of Ransom Everglades as the girls cross country coach of the year, Paul Nowicki as the boys cross country coach of the year, Lewis James from Rains High School, girls track and field coach of the year, and Jesse Forbes, Godby High School boys track and field coach of the year. And then the inductees into the Hall of Fame: Ron Brooks, coach from Jacksonville Wolfson, Billy Close, athlete from Tallahassee, Fred Fink, longtime coach at Lyman High School, David Jumper from Hollywood, Florida, former athlete, Dennis Nobles, longtime coach at FSU there in Tallahassee, and then Tony Tusing, longtime coach at DeLand and high school official. So, and also Mike Brown of Winter Park will receive the Ron Brook Distinguished Service Awards. So that will be a very nice ceremony there as well. So we've got a lot of great stuff going on, and it's as full as it's ever been. And if you want to get involved and be a part of things and get to know some people, then this is where you need to be.
Dave, that is quite a stacked event, I might add. You've really done a great job. And, there's an old saying that you can achieve great things if you don't care who gets the credit. And that's what I think about when I see your council members that have decided to join you in this venture and really put together a top-notch track and field clinic. Can you talk a little bit about the reasoning for having council members and putting that together this year?
And that's another new little kind of brainchild of mine that I wanted to get going. There is no, real huge voice for track and field coaches in the state, and everybody always has concerns and complaints. So there is the FHSA has an FHSA Track and Field Advisory Committee, as it's referred to. They have one for cross country, they have one for track, they have all the sports. And you do get elected. It's an 8-person council, and they try to split it up among girls and boys coaches from around the state. They have various regions that they choose from: north, south, east, west, and that is the proper protocol and format for that. However, sometimes you're allowed to serve so many terms on that council, or on that advisory committee with the FHSAA. But what I wanted to do was kind of twofold. One is create a council that would be some of the people that are interested in leadership roles in the state, or already are leaders in the state in the sport, get them involved, and me personally pick their brains, but then have them give me their opinions. So basically I wanted to have a group of about 15 coaches that could get together, kind of a who's who, but from a wide variety of backgrounds. I included coaches from 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. I included coaches that were involved in throws, jumps, sprints, distance, etc. People that are, computer and technology oriented, veteran coaches, Hall of Fame coaches, and just have a place where, a group of us could officially meet, talk about a few things, and look to make some changes. Not just change for change's sakes, but positive change that is basically, when it comes down to it, is what benefits the kids. What's going to be good for the kids. Try to get Florida's rules in line with the National Federation. And then if the National Federation, if we don't like their rules, try to enact some change that way. But, not to get something together where people are complaining, but let's kind of get everybody on the same page and share some ideas. And I don't have all the answers, so I'm always looking for help and stuff like that. And I think this is a good format to invoke change. I also was basically reaching out to get some folks that wanted to be involved in the clinic, make the clinic bigger and better than it already is. And this will be my 4th clinic. And will probably be the best one ever. Right? It's looking real good. Probably I'm hoping, of course, to have our highest attendance. We started out 4 years ago with not quite 200 coaches, maybe 180 coaches or something like that, and that was up from about 50 the year before. And last year we were somewhere around 340, 350 coaches. I'm of course hoping to get above 400. 500 would be just outstanding. So trying to get us to a level, Florida is a huge track and field state, and there's other places, Ohio, Wisconsin, they have track and field clinics like this for high school coaches where there's 800 to 1,000 coaches show up. So I want to get as many people involved. So having this council, I saw that as a way to get the leaders involved in what's going on in our sport and get them a little more visible so that other coaches can reach out not only to me but to people on this council, and we can all kind of share ideas, share information too. I mean, a lot of, it's the information age, and you'd be surprised how much information coaches don't get, even though we've got email and internet and the whole 9 yards. And there's so many opportunities outside of Florida for coaching education and meets, et cetera, et cetera. So part of this is just, really opening the lines of communication to everybody, getting everybody on the same page, talking the same language, and I think it's going to be really exciting. And what I'm hoping in the future is to make this clinic where, maybe it's even more days or more sessions, or having, including like a keynote speaker in the evening, having perhaps the induction ceremony as an evening event. Just some different things like that, just making it bigger and better. And there's no reason, this has primarily been a high school focused group, but there's nothing to say that youth coaches, college coaches, just interested, track and field fans, parents, can't sign up and come attend these clinics, really pick up a lot of knowledge so that they're clued into what we're doing.
As a fan of the sport, I would highly recommend take a couple of days off of work and come out and see some of the most knowledgeable people in the world of track and field at your FACA Track and Field Clinic. It's going to be held Daytona Beach Oceanfront Resort, January the 5th through the 7th. And Dave, I think you've got a real good framework. I think this is going to be the best one yet, and I'm looking forward to it. This will be the 2nd year for us being there. DistancePreps.com, runnerspace.com. We will be on site and covering down at your clinic in Daytona Beach. And thanks for all the legwork getting us to this point.
Bob, I appreciate it. I appreciate the chance to come on to Distance Preps and be able to talk about it. I think it's going to be, like I said, probably, best clinic we've had in Florida in years, maybe ever. And even one of the best ones in the Southeast. And, I mean, it's a great way to get involved with, coaches, networking. If you want to move up, you want to get jobs, you want to just get to know people so you're kind of in with what's going on. And if you want knowledge, this is going to be a place for you to get knowledge. And so I'm a big fan of, hey, there's not a lot of secrets in what we do. And, we're here, these people are professionals and they're here to share their expertise. And, these college coaches, for the most part, are just as down to earth as any of us. So are some of these elite athletes that'll be here talking to people. So we think it'll be very exciting. Hope lots of people attend and get a lot out of it. And we'll have a great 2012 here in Florida, and then be pointing on to a great 2012 for the United States in London.
I'm looking forward to it. Dave, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We look forward to the clinic in January. And all the best. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks. Happy holidays.